Okay, so first off, needing a license to own a television, having to pay a license fee. There are other ways for a public broadcaster to raise the necessary funds or monies to run a non-commercial network. Yeah, TV license fee, this has to go. It's just silly. Nothing against the BBC per se, but yeah. Another law which comes up in conversation quite a bit where I work is an employer not being able to give a bad reference, which is of course subjective, but because we have these strict libel laws in the UK, the boss man or boss woman could get sued for giving a bad reference. I'd rather live in a more honest and open society where if you have someone who is working for a business or in the public sector and that person happens to be a lazy, disrespectful, unprofessional brat or an arsehole, yeah, I'd rather have an employer be able to say so, be able to tell the truth. I think the next possible employer should be given a heads up or a warning about crappy workers. But hey, here we are. So yeah, a former boss not saying anything on the phone about a former employee kinda communicates some sort of message here in the UK without having to be explicit. It's illegal to sing any profane or obscene song or ballad in any street. Okay. Obviously, I get why there are laws against disturbing the peace, but if you've ever been to a local derby football match or any big rivalry, or if you've ever walked home from the pub late at night with a group of incorrigible delinquents, you will know that this law is not enforced in all circumstances by any stretch. There is something to be said for profanity and obscenity, sometimes loud and very public profanity. Yeah. Getting drunk in a pub is actually illegal. Imagine if they actually tried to enforce this one. As has been pointed out, this would be one way to pay off the national debt. Fine enough drunken Saturday night party people a couple of £100 each. The state could be back in the black pretty sharpish. But any across the board attempt at enforcement would, of course, cause a huge backlash against the government that ordered it, so just know, it ain't happening. The Salmon Act of 1986, Section 32, I believe. Yeah, it is against the law to, quote, handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. So, I guess this would be applied to poachers or suspected poachers. If I'm walking down the high street carrying a big old £20 fish, unmistakably a salmon, because the authorities are trained to notice these things, one would assume, and I was, say, wearing sunglasses and a trilby, with a dodgy looking raincoat and that typical furtive facial expression, would I be right to expect a burly copper to have hold of my collar, and said officer might have some forceful questions to ask yours truly? I don't know. What I do know is there are still some truly ridiculous laws on our statute books, but a lot of crap has been superseded over time, in truth. But a study of some of our nuttier laws from the medieval and later periods tells a story, or at least gives an idea about the values of rulers and perhaps societies back in the day. We were once a thoroughly religious people. I'm glad we're not anymore. Yeah. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and have a pleasant day, ladies and gents.